project on raising bum lambs. Raising bum lambs isn't as easy as this picture makes it seem. For my project, I wanted to take lambs who had been rejected and successfully make them independent. This meant I'd have to feed them every single day for 5 weeks until they were weaned off the bottle. There was so much research to be done before and during my project when something unexpected happens. I went down to Logan, Utah and picked up 4 lambs. These lambs had all been rejected by their mom or their moms had died giving birth. There is way more to taking care of these lambs than I thought it would be. I thought I had done plenty of research beforehand that would be required, but it was more work than I expected. Before purchasing the lambs, I researched a lot of websites and talked to a lot of other people. Some of the items I researched was common illnesses and signs to look for. Doing this research, I was able to identify one of my sheep who was developing foot rot. This is a disease that can spread quickly through a sheep population and is very painful and their hooves fall off. To prevent it from going throughout the rest of my sheep, I had to clean between his hooves and soak it in hydrogen peroxide. Another unexpected event was one of my lambs got bloated. Bloat is common in young bum lambs. Bloat happens when they are fed too quickly, overfed, or something disrupts their stomach. This can kill them quickly if not addressed very fastly. To relieve the pressure of the bloat in my lamb, I fed it vegetable oil, which was used like a laxative to get its bowels working again. One of the issues that I found with all the information is that they start to contradict each other. As an example, I found that there was so much information on how they should be fed. Some sites say they should be fed for a certain amount of times with a certain amount of food, and others said completely opposite. I did the best I could to decipher what would be the best for my lambs. Feeding the lambs was very time consuming, but it was part of my project. The food that I was feeding it was a milk replacement. When feeding the lambs, I had to use a nipple and a bottle. When I first bought the lambs, I had to feed them 4 times a day for 2 weeks, and then every week after that, I went down by 1 feeding and introduced them to grass. This might sound easy, but feeding 4 hungry lambs is very challenging, especially with one of my lambs, Lambert. He had to be fed and then removed from the cage to have a smooth feeding. Another major part of my project was researching the cost and keeping track of expenses. To make sure that you can turn a profit on livestock, you have to do a lot of research. There are many factors. Some of the factors are how much you initially buy your animals for. Next, you have to budget for their fencing and fence posts to keep them safe from animals. For my milk, I had underestimated. I miscalculated how much each bag of milk would be and how much powder each lamb would get. This made me have to buy another bag. In addition to the monetary aspects of this project, it was very time consuming trying to get them weaned. I had to create myself a strict feeding schedule. To do this, I designed 4 times a day with the same amount of hours in between. If they weren't the same amount of hours, it could cause serious problems like bloating. Due to this strict schedule, I had to plan my extracurricular activities around them. This made me miss out on a lot of family and friend activities. If I wasn't going to be able to make one of the feedings, I had to ask one of my family members to help me with my commitment. This is why a lot of farmers get rid of their bum lambs, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of hard work to make them weaned off the bottle. Overall, this senior project was amazing. It taught me to be responsible and follow through with my commitment. I also learned that if you want something, you need to do research beforehand. It was very rewarding though. I had fun watching them grow up and develop the little personalities. I feel like this has made me a better person and has helped me understand my responsibilities when making a commitment.